Welcome to life in London, a city where history meets hip, tradition tangles with trend, and every street corner tells a story. But what's it really like living in this bustling metropolis? Today on Press Start Living, we're diving into 6 quirky aspects of London life that only true Londoners will understand. But that's not all. We'll also jet over to Bangkok, comparing these London quirks with the vibrant, often surprising lifestyle in Thailand's capital. How does navigating the chaotic charm of Bangkok's street food scene compare to a Londoner's quest for the perfect pint? For those considering a move or just curious about the differences, we'll break down the cost of living in both cities. Whether you're dreaming of a flat in Fulham or a condo in Chatuchak, we've got all the info you need to see how far your pound stretches in the land of smiles. Let's start with the emotional rollercoaster known as the London Underground, or the Tube, as we locals call it. To outsiders, it might just seem like a convenient city transit system. But trust me, if you've ridden the Tube, you know it's much more than that. It's like a relationship full of love and challenges. Picture this. You're crammed into a carriage, tighter than sardines during rush hour, where everyone silently abides by the unspoken rule of no talking, just headphones in and eyes glued to the nearest advertisement. Sounds familiar, right? Then suddenly everything stops and you hear, "We are experiencing severe delays due to a signal failure at Bank." Cue the collective eye rolls and sighs. It feels like the whole carriage shares a moment of silent agony. Can you feel that pain? Despite these moments, there's a strange affection for the Tube. It's an integral part of the London experience. Next up, all Londoners can relate to this one, the eternal quest for the perfect pint. So let's set the scene. You're in London, a city where pubs are not just bars, they are institutions woven into the very fabric of the city's social life. But here's the twist. Despite the abundance of options, securing that perfect pint can feel like you're Indiana Jones searching for the lost ark. Why, you ask? Well, with thousands of pubs in the city, you'd think each one would pour a flawless pint. But oh, it's not that simple. The quality of beer can swing wildly from heavenly to, hey, did they just serve this from the Thames? And then there's the price tag. In some of the more touristy spots, ordering a pint might have you clutching your wallet and whispering, "I could have bought a small yacht with that money." Ask any Londoner about their favourite pub and watch their eyes light up as they describe this magical place where the ale is as fresh as the morning dew. The atmosphere feels just like home, and tourists are as rare as a quiet day in Piccadilly Circus. It's where the bartender knows your life story, where each corner holds a memory, and where the beer, oh the beer, is exactly how you want it. Now that's what I call service. And hey, if you've ever embarked on a similar quest in your city, whether for a pint, a cup of coffee, or maybe that unbeatable slice of pizza, drop your stories in the comments below. Friends not from London may not have this type of problem. We're talking about London's famously unpredictable weather. And let me tell you, discussing the weather here isn't just small talk, it's practically a cultural phenomenon. This rollercoaster of weather changes leads to what I like to call the strategic weather conversation. Deciding what to wear every day feels like planning a military operation. Do I need an umbrella, sunglasses, a scarf, all three? It's a tactical decision that could affect your whole day. It's like Mother Nature is up there playing a prank on us. We all have those moments and we laugh and grumble about them in equal measure. It's a shared experience, a bonding ritual even. Have you ever been caught out there, soaked through because you trusted that one sunny cloud? Drop your stories in the comments below. I bet they're as wild as the weather itself. Moving on to a sadder note, let's talk about the mysterious case of disappearing nightclubs. London's nightlife is iconic, but boy, does it like to keep us on our toes. Favourite night spots often vanish overnight, snapped up by developers eager to transform them into the next set of luxury flats or a shiny new office block. Remember Fabric? Closed, then thankfully reopened, but many weren't so lucky. Another thing Londoners have to deal with is skillfully decoding the secret language of London's bus routes. Riding the bus in London isn't just a way to get around, it's an art form. With hundreds of routes weaving through the city, the network can seem daunting. But mastering it? That feels like you've cracked the Da Vinci Code. Seasoned Londoners have their favourite secret buses that are almost always empty, and they guard these routes like hidden treasure. Ever found yourself passionately defending your favourite bus route over a pint? That's when you know you've become a true Londoner. If any of these struck a chord with you, or if you've got your own London quirk to share, drop a comment below. We love hearing your stories. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed our trip through these London peculiarities, subscribe for more, and ring that bell so you never miss out on our adventures. Let's now explore something that might surprise those of you who haven't visited our bustling metropolis yet. Yes, I'm talking about London's green spaces. Now, you might not think of London as a green city, right? But let me paint a picture for you. Imagine sprawling parks and cozy little green spots tucked away in every corner of the city. From the wild expanses of Hampstead Heath to the regal grounds of Richmond Park, where deer roam as freely as tourists. It's like Mother Nature herself sprinkled a bit of countryside charm right here in our urban jungle. And us Londoners? Oh, we love these places fiercely. On any sunny day, and yes, we do get them occasionally despite what the weather segment might suggest, there's a mass exodus to the nearest patch of grass. It's almost a competitive sport. Who can claim the best spot for a picnic? Who knows the most scenic route for a jog? It's all part of the fun. Mention a park like Hyde Park, Greenwich, or the lesser-known secret gardens scattered around, and watch a Londoner's eyes light up. So, whether you're a local or planning a visit, remember, exploring London's parks is like stepping into a whole new world, one green space at a time. Let's now head over to the other side of the world and get a concise guide to the local quirks of lining in Bangkok, Thailand. The land of smiles and one of the most readily said of locals you could hope to meet. Buckle up and let's see how Bangkok's local quirks compare to those in London. This city takes everyday activities and turns them into an adventure. So buckle up because we're diving into the art of mall hopping and the daredevil world of motorbike taxis in Bangkok. First up, let's talk about mall hopping. Now, in most places around the world, a trip to the mall is just your run-of-the-mill shopping spree. But in Bangkok, it's elevated to an art form, a vital survival strategy even. Picture this. The tropical sun is blazing outside. The air is thick with humidity. It's like walking into a sauna with your clothes on. But then, you step into a Bangkok mall and it's like entering another world. The cool air is just the first slice of heaven. Bangkok malls are like mini-cities packed with luxury shops, gourmet dining spots, sprawling aquariums, and even art galleries. Every savvy Bangkokian knows this and has their own strategic mall hopping route planned with military precision. Ever planned a day around avoiding the sun while hitting up 5 different spots for food, fun, and some retail therapy? That's mall hopping in Bangkok for you. Now, shifting gears, let's talk about those motorbike taxis. To anyone new to Bangkok, these might just seem like a quick way to get from point A to point B. But trust me, they are so much more. These riders, these urban knights, are the unsung heroes of the city's chaotic traffic. Riding one of these motorbikes isn't for the faint-hearted. It's the secret weapon for punctuality in a city where traffic jams could win awards for their persistence. Every local knows that when you're running late, a motorbike taxi is your best bet. Clinging onto the driver, zipping past stalled cars, there's a thrill mixed with a dash of terror. Ever felt that mix of fear and excitement as you dodge obstacles at what feels like warp speed? That's your average Tuesday morning on a Bangkok motorbike taxi. Grab your snacks, maybe some Thai treats, and let's get started. Let's talk about a phenomenon that's close to every Bangkokian's heart, the mighty 7-Eleven. Now, I know what you're thinking. A convenience store? Really? But hold up, because in Bangkok, 7-Eleven is not just a convenience store. It's a way of life. These stores are on practically every corner, and they're more than just a place to grab a quick snack. They're open 24/7, making them the ultimate lifeline. Need to pay a utility bill at 3 a.m? 7-Eleven has you covered. Hungry for a hot meal after a late night out? Just pop into a 7-Eleven. Waiting on a package? Yep, you can get that delivered there too. Ask any local, and they'll tell you about their local 7-Eleven as if it were an extension of their own home. Seriously, it's like everyone's personal kitchen pantry stocked by someone else. Ever found yourself needing an emergency snack or an impromptu phone charger at bizarre hours? Imagine having a magical little shop right around the corner that has all that and more, anytime you need it. That's 7-Eleven in Bangkok for you. Moving on to another slice of Bangkok's daily life, street food. Now, street food is common in many cities around the world. But in Bangkok, it's not just food, it's a gourmet adventure right on the sidewalk. The streets buzz with vendors whipping up dishes that are as vibrant as the city itself. From the classic pad thai to sweet and sticky mango rice, and yes, even to the more daring like fried insects. There's something for everyone. And let me tell you, every Bangkokian has their go-to street food stall, the kind of place no tourist has ever heard of. It's a point of pride, a hidden gem they discovered, and a topic of endless discussion. Have you ever had that feeling of finding something truly spectacular and almost wanting to keep it all to yourself? That's how locals feel about their favorite street food spots. So whether it's relying on the ever-present 7-Eleven in a pinch or navigating the thrilling world of street food, Bangkok teaches you that the ordinary can sometimes be extraordinary. We now splash into Bangkok's wild festivities and a taxi system that looks like a painter's palette. Starting off with a bang, or should I say a splash? Let's talk about Songkran, the Thai New Year. And trust me, it's not your typical New Year celebration. While Songkran is observed nationwide, Bangkok turns it into an epic water fight festival. Imagine this. For 3 days in April, the entire city transforms into a battleground where water guns, buckets and hoses become weapons of joy. It doesn't matter if you're a toddler who can barely hold a squirt gun or a grandparent. Everyone's game for a good soaking. Now you might be thinking, water fights in the streets, really? Oh yes, and it's as hilariously chaotic as it sounds. No one is too dignified to dodge a dousing, and for those few days, Bangkok is nothing short of a massive, joyous puddle. Ever been in a water fight that includes literally everyone you see? That's Songkran for you, communal, chaotic, and a blast in the most literal sense. Moving from water guns to a rainbow on wheels, let's talk about the taxis of Bangkok. Now, in most cities, taxis are just a means to get from point A to B, right? But in Bangkok, they're a vibrant part of the urban landscape. These taxis aren't just yellow, they're a kaleidoscope of colours. Bright pinks, vivid greens, deep blues, each colour a different taxi company, painting the streets with every shade you can imagine. And it's not just about aesthetics. Ask any local, and they'll tell you that choosing a taxi goes beyond hailing the first one you see. It's almost like a game mixed with a pinch of superstition. Some Bangkokians believe certain colours bring better luck or promise a faster ride. Ever thought your day might turn around if you pick the right taxi colour? In Bangkok, that's a regular consideration. Choosing a taxi becomes more than just a practical decision. It's a personal one, influenced by a blend of preference, superstition, and perhaps a bit of magical thinking. So, whether it's getting soaked in the joyful chaos of Songkran or picking a taxi that might just be your lucky charm, Bangkok teaches us that there's fun in every corner and colour in every choice. Let's hit the streets in the city and the land of smiles. But not just any streets. We're going up literally to explore the elevated life and then diving into the silent conversations of nods and ways. Stick around to see how these unique aspects make Bangkok the vibrant city it is. Let's start with something that might look ordinary in many cities, but is a game changer in Bangkok: the elevated walkways. While other cities use these structures just to get pedestrians from point A to point B in Bangkok, they are the arteries of the city, pulsing with life. Imagine stepping up from the chaotic, scooter-filled streets into a serene pathway in the sky. These walkways are not just about avoiding traffic. They connect major shopping centres, SkyTrain stations and attractions. It's like walking through an organised, elevated version of the city, where you can breathe a little easier and move a little faster. Now, as you glide above the city, let's talk about how Bangkokians communicate, because it's not all about words here. The language of nods and ways is a fascinating dance of gestures that you need to know to truly blend in. The way is a graceful greeting, or thank you, a slight bow with the palms pressed together, and its depth and duration can tell you a lot about the social status and the situation. It's like having an entire conversation without saying a word. Then there are the nods. Quick, subtle, but powerful in meaning. Ever thanked someone with just a look or a nod? In Bangkok, this happens all the time. Whether it's acknowledging a motorcycle taxi driver or showing respect to an elder, these gestures are woven into the daily fabric of communication, binding the community in a shared understanding that is distinctly Thai and uniquely Bangkok. And there you have it, elevated walkways that offer a breath of fresh air and a dance of nods and ways that keep the social wheels smoothly turning. Bangkok teaches us that even in a crowded, chaotic city, there can be islands of calm and unspoken agreements that everyone understands. Isn't it fascinating how tradition and modernity, chaos and calm coexist in this lively urban tapestry? Now, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home and our bank accounts, comparing the living costs between two vibrant cities, London and Bangkok. Grab a snack, maybe something cheaper than a London sandwich, and let's get into it. First up, let's talk grub, specifically the global benchmark of affordability, the McDonald's meal. You know, the good old McMeal. If you're in London and craving some fast food, you might need to shell out around PS8. That's nearly the price of a small treasure chest in pirate terms. Meanwhile, in Bangkok, a similar meal could cost you about 200 baht, which is roughly PS4. It's like Bangkok is saying, come for the temples, stay for the cheap McNuggets. Moving on to the caffeine fix, a regular cappuccino. In London, prepare to fork out about PS 360 for your morning jolt. That's almost like buying a tiny piece of luxury. Over in Bangkok, it's about 86 baht or PS 190. So you can almost get 2 cups for the price of 1 London cappuccino. Double the pleasure, double the buzz. Now, for something a bit more basic, rice. In London, a kilogram of white rice could set you back around PS 198. Meanwhile, in Bangkok, where rice is practically a sacred staple, it's about 54 baht or PS 120. I mean, why pay more when you can pay less for something that's eaten every day, right? Let's talk commuting. A monthly transport pass in London? That's about PS 200, and that's if the tubes are running smoothly without any surprise signal failures. In Bangkok, a monthly pass for the BTS, their SkyTrain, is around 1B 300 baht, which is roughly PS 28. Londoners, imagine all the extra coffees and rice you could buy with those savings. Next, let's drive into the car market. A Volkswagen Golf, a nice, reliable ride. In London, buying this new will cost you around PS 26 560. Over in Bangkok, hold on to your seats. It's about 1.85 million baht, or PS 22 500. Yep, even with all the savings on food and transport, cars can break the bank in Bangkok. Looking to live in the heart of the city? A one-bedroom apartment in central London can cost an eye-watering PS 245 per month in rent. In central Bangkok, about 23,500 baht or PS 500. It's almost like London is playing a game of Monopoly with real buildings. If you're thinking of buying that apartment instead, in London, you'll be parting with around PS 110 per square metre. Yes, you heard that right. In Bangkok, it's around 186,000 baht or PS 400 per square metre. So, you could get a larger space for the same price and maybe have enough left over for a lifetime supply of rice. Lastly, let's talk cash in your pocket. The average monthly net salary. In London, it's about PS 157 after taxes. In Bangkok, it's around 23,930 baht or PS 505. Sure, it's lower, but remember all those cost savings? What do you think? Could you swap your shepherd's pie for some pad thai? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed this comparison, and don't forget to subscribe for more city living insights. As we wrap up our quirky exploration of London and Bangkok, remember that this is just a snapshot of what each vibrant city has to offer. If you're intrigued by the cost comparisons we mentioned and are considering a move or just curious about living expenses around the world, don't forget to check out our relocating or retirement playlist. This series dives deeper into the financial aspects of living in various global cities, providing you with detailed insights to help you make informed decisions. And for something a bit more introspective, make sure to watch our latest video, Life May All Be Just an Illusion. This intriguing piece explores the philosophical foundations of how we understand and perceive life. It's a thought-provoking journey into theories that challenge our everyday realities and invite us to look beyond the mundane. Okay, let's get into it. Here's a look at 6 quirky things about living in London that a true Londoner would understand. Thanks for watching, and remember, whether you're walking above the traffic or exchanging a silent why, there's always more to a city than meets the eye.